what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again today, people. Today we are here for Kamen Rider Geats episode 41. This is the debut of Bujin Sword. Like, this form looks dope, but I can tell that it's like it's a repaint. It's a repaint and like an amalgamation of like other forms that Tycoon has had. Cause I know, like, yeah, even the shinobi form has some influences on this as well, but we're gonna get to that in a second. But in this episode, I did like, we start off with Geats talking to Neon, and him telling her about his whole plan about, like, making the world a better place and stuff like that. And she kind of just goes on her own little journey because she feels bad that she can't become a writer right now. She's lost that ability, so she goes off on her own little thing trying to figure out a way how she can become a writer again. We see that Beraba and Kakera are kind of up to their little old tricks and things like that. We also see where the people that actually, like, the people as Jamato, the people when they die in the stage two of the Jamato phase, we see that they get put inside of this like tree, which is like fertilizer for the rest of the Jamato plants that Daichi is growing, which basically means that they're not dead, maybe, like, technically, but because we have a lot of random people, like extra, like civilian people dying in this episode and kind of fueling Daichi's little thing he's got going on. But we also saw how Keiwa has basically started his like sort of villain arc slash anti-hero. I think, and his main person he's trying to take out is Buffer. Even though Buffer, Buffer tried to justify it like a little bit, but at the same time Tycoon ain't having that. The way he gets this power is actually very weird to me. Well, not really weird, but like it's a lot of hiccups in his character development, but it's like a bunch of stopping points when it comes down to his like character development, because like this form. But we did see how Daichi did announce to all the people in the city about, like, hey, come join me, and this stuff right here won't happen to you. He literally sat there and demonstrated what happens and actually talked about what happens on this big screen about what happens to people when they become Jamato. We also saw Geats we know Geats 9 in this episode. We saw Geats in his regular base like Geats form, and I'm like, didn't they tell Tycoon that they didn't have any other buckles? So why does Geats have Magnum? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's because it's his thing, but it's like, why does Geats have Magnum? Why you've been transforming into Geats 9 for like ever since that's the only form you've been turned into, and now you just want to whip out Magnum? It was so weird. I was like, why is he in Magnum? I mean, I know they're like regular Jamato, and you can just take them out like they're regular, like they're not like evolved Jamato or anything like that. But why are you turning into Magnum? I don't know, but we see that one guy from this guy was I guess this guy was a cameo because he's from he was in Ultraman Gene, and he ends up becoming a Jamato. But since they don't know how to figure out how to save people, even though they're in the stage 2 of the Jamato stuff, they decide to not destroy him. They decide to just leave him be. And we just see that Win has found out like what exactly Zuel is trying to do, his true intentions, and then that's when Geats asks Sumidi if what does she really want to do? Do you want to go back to the management, stuff like that? She's like, no, they may have designed me, but I don't want to get statuified. And she tells Geats that she's gonna stand with him. So we did get like we got one scene with Neon speaking with her dad while he's in jail. She asks him like, since you got like, do you have any connections to help me become a writer again? And he says no. All the shareholder people turned on me. I've lost everything, stuff like that. And we see that he has just become this mess of a man. So she ends up leaving, and yeah, she ends up just leaving that. I felt like that was kind of like a little wasted scene. I mean, like that scene kind of didn't play. I mean, I guess it foreshadowed some stuff as it's showing that she's trying to find a way to become a writer again. But Geats is there, and he did say in this episode that he could try to find a way to help her become a writer again because he's still trying to get used to these new powers that he has. And yes, we see that Tycoon is basically he's speaking with Kikera, and Kikera basically is giving him like this little weird manipulative pep talk about like how writers never give up, and you say there's always another way there's always another way to get more power and things like that, like just trying to get Tycoon to be the writer that he wants him to be. And Tycoon leaves. He ends up and that's when we see Geats with Sumidi trying to get her to like basically trying to get her in a disguise to where she can like blend in. And she says it's kind of hard, having to blend in with you. And you see all these, they remind us that Geats is still like super freaking famous. So like all these, like he's got groupies and stuff going around. So that's when Junto, the guy who's the new game master, and this guy is madly aggressive. Like this guy is just like, he just want hands. He just want to throw hands and feet, and he also has like a stick, like one of those metal sticks that like extends. Let me know in the comment section below what that is, because it's blanking my mind right now. But that thing, he ends up using that, and he goes out there and he tells Geats, him and Geats just start going at it. He tells Geats like, oh, I'm getting Sumidi back. She's property of management, and when are you gonna like stop this little like family facade that you got going on? And he tells them that I don't care about people view. I don't care about viewership. I don't care about any of the stuff that you're talking about. I don't care about the audience or nothing like that. I just want a DGP and have people destroy stuff and destroy people. Like he's like that. So he ends up attacking Geats. He ends up attacking Geats, and he's beating the crap out of him. Like this guy like fights like a gangster. He was hitting Geats like he had a personal vendetta against them. Like he gets on the ground, just starts beating, just start punching. Like I'm like, God dang, dude. Like there's a lot of like out of suit fighting in this episode as well, especially in this fight right here, where we see Win actually comes in to help Geats, but they end up still kind of getting their butts kicked by this guy out of suit. And he tells them that, hey, be careful about be careful with this world you live in, because someone with an even more potent and higher desire can come in here and rule it and take it from you. And he ends up leaving and tapping his stick on the ground 3 times. I'm like, God dang, this guy's kind of cool. Like, God dang, this guy's cool. Especially when he walked into the store with when Ace and Sumidi were there. Like he had his arms folded, like, hey man, come outside and talk to you. Like that's how it was. Like he's like, Junto he's like aggressive. I'm scared to see what he looks like if he has like a writer for him. I'm scared to see what that's gonna be. I don't care if it looks like Glare or Gazer. I don't know. This guy is madly aggressive. So that's when he ends up fighting all of them, and while he's fighting them, we see that's when Tycoon comes in, and Okewa, he ends up coming in and actually grabbing Sumidi and telling the guys that, hey, I'll keep her safe. You guys just keep doing that. And he ends up running off with Sumidi. But when he runs off with Sumidi, he's like telling her like, I can't go on. It's like, how can I go on living, and how can I do this? Like, I'm so freaking powerless. I couldn't protect my sister out of all people. And he's like begging her to use her like goddess powers to give him something he can use to fight and protect this world. And he's kind of like slick manipulating her. He's pretending to be weak or whatever, but he ends up she ends up using this power and end up giving him the new buckle that he has right now, which is his new form. So when she gives him this, we go back to Buffer, who's basically been seeing Sarah everywhere. He's been seeing her, and she's like kind of like scolding him after he's taking out people, after he's like fighting people, and like he's fighting people who become Jamato stage 2, and they all like ended up dying and stuff like that. And then that's when Keiwa shows up in front of Buffer, and he just starts fighting Buffer, telling Buffer, he's like, you can't justify killing my sister. And then Buffer's like, well, it's not like we could, it's not, she was in the stage 2, so it's not like we had a way to transform her back anyway. So either way, she was just going to freaking suffer. And like, even if you take me out, then more other people are going to suffer. And like, Tycoon's not having it. He ain't trying to listen to nothing Buffer's talking about, because he's telling Buffer, like, you're worthless. Like, you're the one sitting up here making all these freaking casualties. And that's when he starts to fight. They just start scrapping. Like, no soup, just hands. Just all up in it. They going at it and whatever. We see that Tycoon ends up pulling out his new buckle. And, Buffer's like, what the heck is that? He's like, it's a new power I got from the goddess. And when he got this new power, I was wondering, like, is Kekera gonna give him this, or like, how is he gonna actually get this new freaking belt? But it's a whole belt, it's a whole buckle. Like, he ain't using the desired driver right now, or a freaking icon, or a freaking I forgot what they're called, the little icons. He's not using that anymore. He's got a straight up belt, puts that on, transforms into Bujin's sword. And I mean, I love samurai stuff, so I love this freaking form. The only thing I don't like about it is the freaking cape. I'm like, I don't get it. Every time you have a rider, majority of the time, every time you got like an evil rider, they always got some kind of cape. I mean, like, man, is this? I'm not knocking nobody's style, man, and I do like the form, how it looks. I like the black, the red. I like black and red. I like the black, the green, and the silver, stuff like that. And it just seems like this form is like I said before, it seems like this form is just like a big amalgamation of like all the forms KY has had throughout the series, even including the ninja form from the Shinobi special that he was in. So it's kind of like just increasing all this other, like, it's just this big amalgamation. But it looks dope, and the sword looks dope, and his attacks, he's completely wailing on freaking Buffer. He's basically wailing on Buffer, and he ends up stabbing Buff. I don't know where he stabbed him, but he ends up stabbing him. And at the end of the episode, he ends up plunging his sword deep into this man's stomach while he's on the ground. And yeah, I feel like he's gonna be like he's about to go after a bunch of. He's probably, I don't know. After the preview, I'm just ready to see what Geats says to Keiwa while he's in this freaking form. I'm ready to see Geats' reaction to this. I am so ready for that. That's the one. That's what's the one thing I want to see the absolute most. Even though he told Win to have faith in Tycoon, not knowing Tycoon's true intentions of what he was about to do to Sumidi. And yeah, man, but we got kind of got some wasted scenes. I don't know. I mean, I guess like the neon scene was kind of like a wasted thing, because it played like no role in the actual story of the actual plot of the episode. So it felt kind of weird to just add that in there. It felt kind of very filler-ish. And yeah, you had somebody dress up in that outfit just to have her be in her regular outfit again throughout all of that. So but yeah, you see that Tycoon did force her, essentially manipulate her into using her power. So the guy, we see Junto, the guy, he's the new game master. He basically says that the grand end will be the end of all of this, and next episode we see what happens to Betaba and Kekera when they end up using those VIP like cards that he gave them. But yeah, man, the episode kind of ends off with Tycoon completely and utterly destroying Buffer, basically kind of getting some payback for how much you've been beating the crap out of me like throughout the episode, and how mean you've been to me throughout the episode. And I was like, why is Buffer feeling bad about like offing people? Like, all of this is just hitting him now. Like, he was like Betaba's lapdog in the whole Heaven and Hell arc. And like the symbolisms in this right now is very, very, very apparent. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of Kamen Rider Geats episode 40. One, did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell me how you feel about Tycoon's new form, his his Bujin sword form. I really really freaking like it. Even though it's an evil Kawa, I don't care. I really like this new form. I mean, I know it's it feels like an amalgamation of all his other stuff, but it just fits. It looks really cool. The only gripe about it I have is the freaking cape. Like, cape looks stupid. I mean, it's a long black cape, but it looks real. It looks kind of stupid. But other than that, you guys let me know. I'm gonna see you guys next time, and remember, like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, stay Henshin.